Hey Jack, sorry the scheduled live knackered up, or I knackered up, whichever it is. So I don't know if we'll get a lot of people in here tonight or not. Can you hear me all right, mate? Yeah, that's great. Just trying to figure out how to create a link for Matty to join now. I don't know how to do it once it's started. So it could be a quiet night in here tonight, the looks of it. Yeah, like I say, it wasn't scheduled because the other one knackered up. Oh, that'd be great, Jack. Hey, Brian. Hi, Rob. Rob, you might be able to help me out in this. My scheduled live knackered up, or I knackered up, whichever one it was. It says that I can add somebody by join together. But I don't know how to get that on the phone, stopping the feed that it's already on. That makes sense. Cheers, Jack. Oh, bloody hell. Sorry, guys, I've not got a clue what I've done here. Oh, Christ, that's worse. Dearie me. Right, that's better. Right, well, it's like nobody's leaving again. Hardly a surprise. Going to hate to go with what it is, guys. It's just been a bit of a nightmare. I really have to practice on how to do these lives on YouTube. So what I'm just going to be doing some dial backs tonight. Let's see, you've probably seen them all before. Aye, please, Jack, if you let him ken like I say, this has just been an absolute disaster tonight. To say that I'm not the most technologically minded would be an understatement. Made that way too short in the tail. So, I think I should change my title to Time with a Troglodyte. That would be a better description. Or Creating with a Caveman. That would work as well. Sorry guys, the lighting is absolutely terrible on this now. And I don't know how to fix it. It's a lot better. But yeah, this one I'm just doing a rabbit dial back. Cheers, Brian. If you'd seen the run up to actually getting this started, I think you would disagree slightly. It's an absolute nightmare I've had tonight. But it's really only the second live I've tried, and I can't remember what I did the last time. It seemed to go okay. Well, it didn't actually. The first one cancelled again. So I'll need to do a little bit of research on how to, I mean, I seem to be able to set up the lives, schedule them all right. But then when the time comes, I can't find the bit that actually starts it. Hi, Matty in church. Aye, okay. Only if he was getting an exorcism done on him. Hey, Cara. Right, man. I'm getting a few in, which is a surprise because, as I was just explaining, the setup of the live went out of hell. So I appreciate anybody that's popped in. Well, I am Cara. I can't speak for anybody else. Seems awfully weird no having Matty in here. It's like having Punch Out Judy. The double act's been split up. No, I'll take you a while to cook, Jack. You do it a slow 24-hour, or you do it a quicker method? About 4 hours, okay. You never do the massive long ones, no? Of course, that'll be hot smoked then, Jack, yeah. Cold smoked, obviously, will take a lot longer. Ah, right, aye, I've got you. But the music in these biots. Ah, cheers. I don't know what made me think of that. It was just, I'd come up one of these shorts come up as I was just scrolling through it and I seen that and it, perfect comment to make. You only cold smoked fish, fair enough. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. If you cold smoke meat, you just have to cook it afterwards anyway. So uh, Cara, what I would add to that, you can only beat a proper kipper. You can't beat an Arbor smoky. I ken yours for further north than that, but that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. You've never gone a what, Cara? Rob, no, I set it up as a live and I put an invite, I can't even speak. I put an invite link out on one of my posts, but it, that went out of hell, so that link will no longer be valid. So that's why I was wondering about if you could do a join together, but I don't know how you do it. What I've seen on Google and that, it tells you how to do it as you're setting up the live, as opposed to after the live. It tells you can do it once you've started, but it doesn't go into detail how. And I mean, that's taking the fact that I'm actually reading that on the computer while obviously doing the live on the phone. So it's just a disaster, to be honest with you. If anybody's got any questions or wanting to see anything in particular, please by all means let me know. I'll see what I can do. Like I say about the Arbroath Rhino, I had my double arc partner to bounce off with the night, so it might be a little bit more boring than normal. Mind you, it might not be boring for long. I noticed that Cara's in, so that usually only happens after somebody's mentioned the Black Mamba or the chat starts getting a bit racy. Don't know what she expects for an innocent man like me, but what? Don't you deny it, Cara. That other one of Matty's lives, you left about 5 times and kept coming back, so didn't give me an innocent act. Nobody's believing you. Jack, anything like that, there's got to dial back in the UK, and it really is a fantastic fly. A fairly recent fly, not in the last couple of years, but in the whole scheme of things, it's a fairly new addition. Although, to be quite honest with you, that, like most flies, they're mostly a variation on something that's already out there. But yeah, it does work very, very well, and you can tie it in multiple colour combinations. You can even change them. Well, you can change the materials. Like the first one I did with rabbit fur. That one there was with pheasant tail. So I'm sure if you spoke to some, they would have hard and fast rules of how you could tie them. But I don't care. We've been doing them with dubbing robberies. Went back to their foam. Excuse me a wee minute, it's like I've got something running in the background here and it's annoying. No, doesn't seem to be. Must be hearing main voice coming through on the computer somewhere. It'll be coming through my headphones, no doubt. Also worked out why my mobile live was so bad. All right. Well, if you get any top tips, give me a clue, mate, because I could do always improving. I mean, they're fairly clear, but I could really do with. I think my main problem is the lighting needs upgraded quite a bit. I know you guys are saying it's fairly clear, but I'd like to get it better. No, yeah. Good look at it. Put a specific feather aside to do something different, and now we can't find it. Ah, well. That's good. Any improvements? A bonus, Rob. Like I say, it's going to be a lot easier for the boys that can spend $3,000 on a setup to do YouTube videos. But I ain't one of them. I mean, if you're... Yeah, wee man, I've got a couple of lamps, mate. They're no the greatest. Yeah, I'll have to make do with what I've got. So yeah, I mean they're basically, I've got two LED desk lamps. One's a sort of a ring light, and the other one's a strip light. They're both LED, which are pretty good, but I mean, to make a huge difference, I hate to move the lamps right close in. But obviously, the problem with that is when you do, you can't work on the hook to actually tie in. So I'm just trying to mess about here. See, that gives me a better light there. But if you see it, yeah, wait a minute. Hang on just a second here. How does that look like through the ring light? But I can't see my fly to work on it. What colour car are the guinea fowl? The blue. Let's see if lifts around now. There we go. Yeah, it's traditional. It would be blue jay wing, but this is guinea fowl that's been dyed blue. In all honesty, I think because if you see it like that, it's mottled where blue jay is, and I think it gives it more a sort of look of life about it. And plus, it's more readily available. The feather sizes are more varied, so you're limited with jay because it's basically one size of feather pretty much. $2,500. Yeah, the J is stiffer, wee man. I agree with you on that. But again, if you compare with, in a wee second, when you compare it with the likes of that one, there's no way you're getting as long a fibre to do that with J. Yes, you can wrap J, but you're never getting a fibre length like that for a size 10 hook. So again, that's another reason I like the guinea fowl or the J. And plus the fact that the guinea fowl is a byproduct from meat manufacturing, and where J's basically just harvested for the feathers. Well, that and the fact that they're shot as a pest species anyway, but I just it's another one of those things that it's just because it's traditional, it's what should be used. But if you've heard me in any of Matty's lives, you'll ken how much I think of that nonsense. I mean, there's no way that a trout's sitting in the water and going, I'm not taking that fly because that's not tied with the traditional materials. Yeah, definitely on that in Cara. I like, and don't get me wrong, certain species have to be controlled, etc., etc. Especially invasive species. But I mean, like nowadays. Sorry, I just bumped the phone. Nowadays, if you're getting like seal's fur, it used to be readily available because of the seal culls that they had. But now it has to be harvested off the shore, where basically seals have rubbed against the rocks, and I don't know if seals molt. I would assume they must to a certain degree, or there wouldn't be any on the shore. But it has to be harvested off the shore rather than off the seal itself. Who did you get off with new, Cara? We didn't take in your personal life. Who? I don't know. You said wee man, I got up with him. Oh no, you said you got up with it. All right. Nope. I doubt Matty's not going to make an appearance. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to see if I can get hold of Matty. Is that a different bird, Jack? I don't know. I've never looked into it. I mean, the ones that get harvested over here are European jay, so I would imagine it'd be a different species of jay. Yeah, right. So it's different for one then, Jack. I need to do a bit of wee research on that on Google, I think, just so I could see the differences. I think by your description, I may have actually seen something, but I can't say for sure. Price wee man, I think the price of everything's gone mad these days. Excuse me. Now, here's a question that maybe one of you guys in here will know, which I've never thought about before. With the European jay, does both the male and the female have the blue on the wings? Ah, right, Jack. I bet you're talking about your American jay, aren't you? Let's say the European jay may well be the same. I haven't a clue either, wee man, but so I'm saying it's no something I've actually thought about before. There's quite a lot. The males are different for the female colour-wise. Usually the males being the brighter. Ah, right. Thanks for that, Cara. Like I say, it's not something that had ever crossed my mind until we were just chatting here. Well, that's it. We need to work to get a woman. A woman can get basically any man they want within reason. Yeah, they're bunny wee birds. A bit of a nuisance, like, but they're pretty birds. Same way, a bird that I think's actually a very pretty bird and they're a horrendous pest are magpies. I mean, they can cause one hell of a amount of damage, but they are a beautiful looking bird. Awfully striking with their black and white. The weird thing is, down here, Cara, up until what, late 90s, probably around about late 90s, you hardly ever seen a magpie around here. Nowadays, Jesus God, they're all over the place. Yeah, Brian, for me, the price is immaterial because I don't use it. So, but yeah, you're right. That's another thing that's went absolutely crazy in price in the last wee while. I mean, you used to be able to get a reasonable jungle coat cape for about 25, 30 quid, and now you're in the hundreds. It's ridiculous. Oh, I think if it's a good idea to feed them, Cara, you're just encouraging them. Like I say, I know that they're beautiful beasts and all, they're beautiful birds, but they can absolutely decimate the songbirds in your area. Because they'll not only will they attack adults, they'll take the eggs and the chicks of the nest. They are, for as pretty as they are, they're an absolute menace. If it's the magpies you're talking about, Cara, yeah, they'll clear out nests. Like I say, I think they're an absolutely gorgeous looking bird to look at. But they'll take the chicks, they'll take the eggs, as well as they'll attack the adults. No, as I say, I like seeing them a bit, but I wouldn't encourage them by feeding them. I mean, they have to eat like every other animal in the wild, but feeding them in your area is just keeping them round about your door. And you'll probably end up seeing a decline in all the wee songbirds over time. I know it kind of sounds horrid to be selective in what you're looking after, but looking at the bigger picture, the magpies are now, I think, encourage. What crows? Crows aren't quite so bad. Crows are, although they're all half kind of the same family, crows are more carrion feeders. They'll like roadkill and things like that. So they're not quite so bad. Although magpies and jays are classed as corvids as well. But the crows, crows will maybe hit a nest in an opportune way, but magpies will seek them out. Your jays do the same thing, Jack. The starling in the soffit. What's a soffit, wee man? My dad, when he was a kid, which is quite a few years ago now, he actually had a pet crow, and it would, when he come home for the school on his push bike, it would come down, land on his shoulder at the farm road end and sit on his shoulder all the way up the road. So they are intelligent beasties. There's no two ways about that. And they can be taught quite a few tricks as well. But then I think most species, if you take the time to train them, they'll remember certain tricks and certain things. I know since I was a kid, I've worked ferrets for for rabbiting, and when I was young, the lore was that you never handled your ferrets because it took the instinct out of them to hunt. But what that ended up with is ferrets that bit like you wouldn't believe. The last lot of ferrets I had, which was mid-90s, my wife treated them like pets, fed them wee bits of cheese, fingers of fudge chocolate, and all kinds of nonsense. Named them, they're like permanent kittens. But when I worked them on the rabbits, you could hear them when they caught a rabbit underground. Used to just call their names, they would come out. Never had a bother. Whereas the ones you didn't handle, once they got on a rabbit, they fell asleep and you had to dig them out. But with the last two I had that I worked, you just shouted on their names and they come out. They were unbelievable. Best working ferrets and pets I've ever had in my life. And I've had a lot of ferrets over the years in the last 50 odd years. All right, I'm with you new wee man. Got you. Hey, Alan. How you doing, mate? Hey, that last one, Dane, it's just a dial back variant. I'm just using the blue guinea fowl for the tail and the throat hackle, and just an olive dubbing for the body. Basically, my thoughts behind it is it's like a nymph version of blue flash damsel. Whether it'll work as that or not, I'm not sure yet. I've been tying a few up. I mean to keep taking them up when I go fishing. I keep leaving them on my desk. So I'll have to try and take some up with me and see if they actually work or not. But as I usually do, I'll use sod off of the buy it from. Didn't use start. What will probably happen is I'll tie 2 dozen of them, try them, they won't work, and they'll sit in my books for years. Bloody baby blue biots. Who's a mod in here that can kick Robert? Speaking of moderators, it's about time I made you. I thought you were already a moderator, Jack. Who else have we got? Wee man. Right, who have I missed? I think Alan's the only one I haven't put in. Cara, that wasn't very nice. That was a joke, as you well bloody know. Oh, there's Stuart. Hello, buddy. Have a moderator. Where's Alan? Right, I think that's everybody in. Anybody in the chat that haven't put as a moderator? Just let me in. What's the story of your life? Getting knocked back for women, Rob? Hey, listen, everybody that comes in's welcome to be a moderator. Not being loved. Yeah, I mean, the mere folk I hate to try and keep control if we get any numpties in is always going to be a help. It's like Marty says, if there's quite a lot going on and you're trying to tie flies, no, you kind of keep an eye on everything. What's the difference between Rob and the Black Mamba? What's the difference between a joke and a Black Mamba? Rob can't take a joke. Hey. I never use wax, Jack, unless it's doing something like touch dubbing for like some mole, some of the old spider patterns. You're only putting enough mole on them or whatever dubbing you're using to make it, how can I put it, to make it the body look like a haze rather than a solid colour. And you use a tacky wax and it's only enough. You don't, like you'll see me and Rob and Matty, you twist the dubbing on. With that, you just touch it on the thread and whatever sticks is all you put on. And it depends on the dubbing, Jack. Some dubbings Like if you get, like we were talking about earlier, seal's fur. If you get what's the word I'm looking for? Juvenile seal's fur. It's soft and it will dub well. If you've got adult seal's fur, it's harsh and spiky and it doesn't dub as easily. So you may need wax for that. I don't use seal's fur, to be honest with you. Yeah, like I say, the majority of them will stick just fine, Jack. I mean, some people like Matty. Matty uses wax on all his dubbins, and some folk didn't use wax on any other dubbins. So it's more a personal thing than anything else. No, Eartha, Cara, the dubbing's like that. It's the receiver one. It's the material that I put on the hook. Wax is the glue, as it were. But if you've got a fine dubbing, it doesn't adhere to the thread. It adheres to itself in sort of a sleeve round the thread. Like I say, Jack, there's no right or wrong way, to be quite honest. There's no such a thing as a stupid question, Cara, just stupid answers. If you're asking a question, you're getting a smart-assed answer, you're asking the wrong person. Because there's a difference between a smart answer and a smart-assed answer, in my opinion. And like I say, for my whole YouTube channel, it's about having fun and learning. Now, here's a question for you, Rob. You're saying align it and then dub it on the clockwise direction. Do you think it really matters whether you go clockwise or anti-clockwise? Cheers, Jack. Why do you think it makes a difference? Right, okay, here's the next wee experiment for the night. Because it's not that it's something I do or thought about. I'm right-handed as well, but so what you're saying is, for your comfort point of view, it's the right way you're doing it. But surely if it's a flat thread, wee man, whatever way you turn it, that's the way your thread will cord up. So I would have thought it would have made less difference on a flat thread than a corded thread. I'm just going to try it both ways here. Yeah, what I was sorry, Rob, maybe I wasn't clear. What I was thinking, not so much that you're saying each turn tightens it, but I'm gonna dub it the opposite way here. And I would assume as long as you dub it the same direction all the time, it's going to tighten to exactly the same. Yeah. In fact, I actually seem to dub it slightly tighter going that way, but I don't know if it's see, that's me dubbing it on anti-clockwise, where I'm like you, I usually go clockwise. But in all honesty, it doesn't seem to make any difference whatsoever. And that's on a corded thread. So just for wee man's benefit, I'm going to put a flat thread in and try it again. Like I say, this isn't a right or wrong debate. I've never actually thought about it, and this is. I think it depends. I think right-handers go clockwise and left-handers go anti-clockwise. Wee man, I don't know. But when I learned to tie, what I was always told, as long as you go in one direction, because obviously if you go back and forward, you're tightening and then loosening it off again, so it's counterproductive of what you're trying to do. No, I don't think it is, Rob, but like I say, you probably hear that it's clockwise because the majority, obviously the majority of people are right-handed, and it does seem to be more natural to go. But to be honest with you, the way Davy McPhail does it, he dubs with his left hand. To me, it feels more natural to go anti-clockwise when I'm using my left hand to dub it, because you know how he gets the catch on it and then starts tightening as it goes, where I normally stop and tighten it and then put a few extra turns on. But that feels alien going that way to me. But so I suppose we've come to the conclusion is that it makes absolutely no bloody difference. What are you on about the advent calendar joke again, Cara? Have I got any white wool? I've got just about every colour of wool you can think of, Rob. But in wool, it will make a difference because it's corded but very lightly and much bigger strands. The Liam Payne one, I thought that one was a touch out of order. But hey. Here's what I was saying to you about that, Rob. What I was trying to make clear. With a thread, the cordon's a lot tighter. If you go anti-clockwise, obviously with a wool, it will open up. Sorry, I'm doing it on the wrong side of the bloody camera. If you twist it the normal way, it tightens it, and obviously it'll open up if you do it the other way. But if you take it, that's only 2 or 3 strands, and they're very lightly woven. Oh yeah, I agree with you on that, Rob. Like I say, if you've got the wool tied in, there's one way to tighten it and one way to slacken it. But does it actually pertain to dubbing on a tightly woven thread? I would say no, but I know what you're saying. If you've got it like that, but you see, and you go that way, it obviously tightens it up. You go that way, obviously it opens and flattens it. But again, if you go on the other hand, if you keep going that way, you'll tighten it again. I don't know what that last bit proved, but there you go. But you see, this is it. This is the kind of charts I like as well. I do a bit of helping out in my local fishery, doing casting lessons and that for beginners. And every time I do a lesson, I teach myself something that I should be correcting in my casting, because I'm pretty much self-taught as casting. But when I'm teaching somebody, I do it like sort of with a book. And every time I do a day's casting, I end up correcting something in my own casting. I've seen that short you had up, Bertha. Well, see, that's just what I was saying last night on Matty's, Rob. If we all tied flies exactly the same way, we'd be as well buying them. The whole point of it is you pick your own little twist on every fly. Not so much for dubbing jar. Well, sorry. Let me reiterate that. If you get your normal strand, most wools are 3 strands. If you wrap that on a small hook, it looks bloody massive. But if you split it, see how they come out like that, and just pull a single strand out. If you then wrap that on, you get a much thinner body. But what wool's really good for, and I do this an awful lot. If you take wool, if you get a coffee grinder, No, I didn't get a deer one, but the coffee grinder with the blades. If you cut it into small, like half-inch sections of wool and blend them in a coffee grinder, just pulse grind it. If you keep grinding it, goes into basically nothing. And you pulse grind it, you can mix colours. Now, here's a prime example. That's my olive dubbing. That's a light, well, I call it dark honey. You'll see them better at the packets. That's two of the different colour dubbins I use. That's all wool. That's all just natural wool, and that's dubbed in a coffee grinder. So you don't have to go and buy every colour of hare's ear or seal's fur, whatever it may be. If you grind wool, just normal knitting wool, in a coffee grinder, you'll get some fantastic dubbing, and basically you can get any colour you want. What I do, which I didn't do before, I'd make up a colour of dubbing and think that's brilliant, but I didn't write down the ratios of the colours I was using, so it made it nearly impossible to replicate the colour. Ah, here he is. Here's the Arbroath Rhino. All right, buddy. Yeah, if you do, when you're making them, jot down the ratios, like 3-part green to 1-part white or whatever you're doing, and keep a note of it. And if you find a colour you really like, you can go back and you can replicate the same colour over and over again. I've actually got a text file on my computer that does about 15 different colours. Oh, to your one palettes like that, is it? Matty, this isn't the original feed, so there's no link to join, mate. I'm going to have to study how to. I can set the feed up, but when it comes to it starting, I can't figure out how to get the actual stream to start. And because of that, that's why I'm losing a link for guys to come and join the share screen. So, but yeah, Jack, that's one tip I would like. I would like to hand out. Wool is a fantastic thing to make dubbing out. Again, I think it was Cara that said about pets. Was it yourself that said that, Cara? Did you say about pets for the dubbing? Pet owners, you said, I think, or something along that line. I think somebody said it anyway. Pet hair makes some great dubbing. Used to have a yellow Labrador, and I kept the fur off her when she was groomed, and it made an absolutely fantastic sort of like a hare's ear substitute dubbing. Cat fur makes a good dubbing. I know there's a lot of guys like that fly tie that like being friends with guys that have got exotic birds. So when they molt, they keep all the colourful feathers for them. I would imagine that'd be more for salmon flies. They're more blingy. Matty, did you see the thumbnail for the live before it went? What the hell? You never notice. I'll send you the picture later on, mate. You'll like it. Matty, while you're here, mate, someone was what I let you see that we were talking about on your live last night. The capes for Frank Ramage. Like I said, that was the. Hang on a wee minute. That's the sort of the burgundy one there. I got this one off him. Orange hen cape. Obviously, that's well, it can still be used for dial bars. What else did I get? Come here. A pure white one. Very bright red one. And this sort of a furnace colour. And there is another one, but I can't remember which one it was. No, it wasn't that one. There was another one, but I can't remember which colour it was, mate. So you can see you do get a. I'll send you that later on as well, buddy. Like I say, they're no high quality capes, but they're really good for doing dial bars, tails, and throats. Now, I don't know if you noticed something here, guys. Up until just recently, this chat was being rather sensible and well-mannered, and something's changed just recently, and I can't put my finger on what it is. A cape something Batman wears, Cara. A cape is a section of feathers taken out of the back of a bird, Cara, between the wings on the back for the shoulders down. Matty came in exactly right, Cara. Exactly right. That's the difference. I knew there was something. Matty, do you hear TARDIS as part of your house? Because every bloody time you seem to find another drawer or a cupboard or something that's full of bloody fly tying material. And then the next thing you tell us you've no room at your new house. So there must be something you're not telling us here. That's what I'm saying. You seem to hear TARDIS. I think your house must be bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. Hey, Steve. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Right, who's being disingenuous here? There's 10 Falcon, there's only 9 likes. Tut tut. Disrespectful that is. Now there's 10 and 9. There's 9 Falcon and 10 likes, so I don't know what the hell's happening. But hey ho, it's the way it is. Matty, Greg's just got back to me, says the 3, 4 and 5 is the ones he's got. Don't know what the hell that means. But that's obviously about your Insta360. Too much filth in here. Yeah, there usually is when you and Matty appear, Cara. I tried that with him yesterday as well, Matty. No, but he tells me he's got a room full of cameras and drones and all kinds of bloody photography stuff. But no, he seems. Funnily enough, he seems to be like somebody else. Like, and he buys everything, but he'll know part way any of it he can. I can't mind the guy's name, Matty. Because since you're no actually hosting the live, mate, you might be able to hear we look on Facebook. I sent you that picture. Ah, you got it. Amazing how easy it is to do things like that with bloody ChatGPT. It's amazing how he just coincidentally finds things, Robert. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to hit a phone round all the local tackle shops and see if there's been any break-ins in the last year or so. Might explain something. You're tight, as tight as a duck's arse. That's watertight. If we need you back in, Cara, we'll just say the word Mamba and I'm sure you'll reappear like a bloody genie. Thanks for popping in, Cara. See? What a bloody magnet. You can't be helped. Seen a thing come up on my Facebook feed earlier on, Matty. There's another guy with a law-inspired vice suit, and it was just a generic photo. So I asked him to take some close-up photos of the jaws and send them to me. I explained that I used to hear law vice, blah, blah, blah. And he sent me the close-ups, and one jaw sticks out further than the other, and one sits a wee bit higher than the other, and so I'll not be bothering buying that one either. Yes, mate. There's two of them there. One is Irish Fly Supplies, which I tried their vice. It couldn't have had its breath, to be honest with you. Or you could get it to hold the hook, but you'd have been as well getting a bench vice and wrenching it down in that. This guy's... Give me 1 second. This is it's called a Halni vice, Halni. It's a guy called... It's Hook and Line Northern Ireland. There's one guy that I've seen very good reports about wee man over there that does a law type vice, but he's way over £1,000 a vice. And to be honest with you, if I was looking to part with that kind of money, I would have kept out of my law vice in the first place. So that's out of the question. They can replicate it, Rob, but their tolerances on their machining is nowhere near good enough. Apparently that HMH one is supposed to be very good. Don't know, never tried one, but the reports say that the tolerances are pretty good. But if you ask Matty himself, he's got the law and he's got the F&F, and the F&F is really good, but it doesn't match up to the law. It's just not the same. Yeah, I can't remember the one there in Ireland that does the really good law replicas. I know there is one guy. I looked at him for a while, but he's £1,100 or £1,200 for a vice. Wee man, speak to Matt about the F&F. He's got one. He's got a law as well. He's got my old law. He'll give you a head-to-head comparison between them. What cigarettes got to do with anything, Rob? Oh, you've already spoken to him, right? Okay, wee man. Like I say, he rates the F&F, but it's not up there with the law. But I don't think anything ever will be, unless he starts making them again himself. But I don't know what age he is now, so that might be saying that when he made the newer ones, the law Lawrence Walden himself, when he brought out a production run, just a wee production run, they were going the shops for £12,000 a piece. So you know, it's a big investment. I mean, when I bought my law vice many years ago, my wife actually got it for me. It was £400, and I used that for a hell of a lot of years, and absolutely loved it. Or you'd go put a small groove right at the front for the wee hooks, Matty. It's all the same, wee man. Like I say, I had that law for many years. It doesn't make you a better tire, but for me, it was way more enjoyable to tie on. You know, it's like having a Ford and a Porsche. They'll both get you from A to B, but the Porsche will be much more fun to drive, and that's the way I felt with the Law Vice. It was simplicity, it was smooth, it did everything I needed. I mean, I would never have bought one at £3,000. That's a dead cert, you know. But I had my eye on the Law Vice for many years before I got one. I don't know if you were in the chat on Matty's last night. It was a Hans Wielenman for the Netherlands. It was his original blueprint that it was made on. So I say, all they say to me, I got one because David McPhail had one. That's a load of shite. I was wanting one long before I seen David McPhail using one on YouTube. In fact, when I got my Law Vice, YouTube was a glinting, what's his name's eyes? I can't mind his bloody name now. Again, that's exactly my point, Jack. It's only nicer to drive. It's not. It isn't any more practical. I mean, my comparison with the two, Jack, was both be able to drive you from point A to point B, but the Porsche would be nicer to drive over that distance. Oliver Edwards had one as well. Yeah, you're right, mate. But again, as you probably can, it's even harder to find videos of Oliver Edwards on YouTube. I wish I'd taken up one of my mates of mine, way back in the 90s. He had the complete DVD set of Oliver Edwards, all his fly tying skills and all the rest of it. And I wish I'd bought them off him at the time. Mark Innes Vices. Where's he based at, Alan? Zuckerberg. Thank you very much, Rob. I just noticed that comment in there. Dickon if you spell it with a V like, but I know what you meant. I certainly was. As far as rivers and chalk streams and that's concerned, he really knew what he was talking about. But would he have done any well on Wormit? That's the point. I'm going to have a wee look on YouTube on my computer at the moment. See if that FUD's come out with any more comments. Shops. Nah. Don't know if any of you seen it. The short I put up about Wormit yesterday. A boy come on, he typed something incoherent about carp puddles and fisheries sneaking through the net or something. So I was nice enough, and I says, no catching what you're on about. Can you clarify? He says, it's just a puddle filled with tons of fish. I says, oh, so you ken the fishery and you fished it, have you? No answer. He's from Coles Norton. Where's that down? Is that England, Alan? Mark Innes. Oh, he's Scottish. All right. I didn't recognise the name there. The Coles. What would you say it was? Coles Norton. I didn't recognise the name. But I know Tillycootery's near Stirling. As you can tell by the sofa adverts that we used to get up this way. Yeah, thanks for that wee bit of advice, Alan. I'll hit here. We'll look at that and see. Alan, I was just doing a quick search there. And apparently you can't get the Mark Innes Vices anymore. It just says you can only get them through second-hand market. Is that right? Wee man, the reason I got rid of the law, I'm starting to get to, how can I put this? I'm getting to a stage in life where I ain't going to be time for an awful lot longer. And I know Marty was looking for one. I know he'll appreciate it and all the rest of it. So he got that, and I just got a vice that'll do me for however long I can still tie. So, you know, I got my money back and a wee bit extra. Matty got a vice that he loves. Win-win. If I was still going to be time for another 30 years, I wouldn't have parted with it. And to be honest with you, I still get a pang every time I see him tying on his lives. But hey, that's life. Exactly right, mate. Exactly right. I mean, I know I'm not going to go into details because it's no fair on Marty, but I know I could have gotten more money for it than what I got for Marty. But I would rather get to somebody I know and somebody that wouldn't take the piss. And I know Marty's had offers way over what I sold it to him for, but he refuses to part with it. So that just shows you I made the right move. No, Travis, you're not a mod. Didn't help your cause by asking. I could guarantee you that much. You're not going to get a mod your first time in, mate. I think that's expecting a wee bit too much. You're not alone, Travis. You just haven't proved yourself. Let's put it that way. Come in a few times, behave yourself, act appropriately, and you may well get a mod. If you hear a look in my bio for YouTube, Alan, my email's in there, mate. Not at the moment, you can't be, Travis, no. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. You've come in, you've said 3 or 4 lines of text, and you expect a mod. Bit unrealistic. Travis, you're starting to be a bit of a dipstick over it. I've explained to you, if you come in a few times into my lives, you behave, act like you're supposed to behave, maybe you'll get a mod. But coming in here and bleating on about it, you've got no chance. And you've just been dealt with for your first bit of nonsense. And it will continue if you come back and do the same again. So that's your choices. And your only choices is take it or leave it. And to be quite honest, if you don't want to accept it, you're in the wrong place. Excuse me, guys. And if you're still lurking and listening, Travis, you've only been timed out for 5 minutes, and that's basically your first warning. If after that time you want to come back in and you behave and stop messing about, you can stay. If not, you'll be toddling off twice as quick as you did the night. And that's why the ones that are mods, because they never take any nonsense. Jack, would you shut up about this bloody smoke meeting on? You're marking my drill here. That's his hangover cure, is it, Matty? Always do what you're told. You know? So is it a proper built smoker you've got, Jack, or did you mark one yourself? I was wondering, Jack, is it a purpose-built smoker you've got, or did you get the oil drums out and build one yourself? Oh, you bought one. They can be expensive. Well, at least they are over here. It depends what you go for, I suppose. You can spend thousands on a. I mean, a lot of the smokers nowadays have got apps built into them so you can moderate their cooking for a distance and all the rest of it, which I think isn't cooking in my opinion, but there you go. I knew there was something about you I didn't like, Rob. Bloody vegetarian. Dear, dear. Oh, you've went away for being a veggie, Rob. I could understand that. I reckon if you go vegetarian, you live longer. I just think it feels like you live longer. Matty, are you sure you didn't have a farm down below you rather than a spare room? These pheasant tails are soft as hell. They're garbage. Obviously, a pheasant that's been harvested before a frost. You're like me, mate. I keep opening drawers and tubs and all and find stuff that I forgot I bought 20 years ago. Oh, you prick. Sit still. Desperate Dan is the name you're looking for, Rob. He wasn't in the Beano, he was in the Dandy. Although, to be fair, they both come out of Dundee, so... they were both written by DC Publishers in Dundee, I think, if I remember rightly. There you go, guys. A wee pheasant tail with legs. A wee bit of rabbit dubbing. Classic and an absolute fish killer. And sadly, they'll last about 6 fish before they fall apart. DC Thompson, thanks, Matty. I knew it was DC something. I think it wasn't DC Comics, but I knew it was DC something or other. Also, where the courier comes from, if I remember rightly. Wee man, I usually do. Sadly, what I just realised, I couldn't find my super glue, and just noticed it on my desk after I do the fly. Yeah, I usually put super glue up the shank of the hook, and wrap over that, and put the wire in, sort of belt and braces, and then always either put a drop of varnish or a drop of resin and set it on the wing case over the back, because that seems to, it's usually the first bit that goes, because obviously it doesn't even have any wire to support it. Thanks, Steve. Well, it's like we were saying earlier on, Rob, before, tide flies the same way, we'd be as well buying them for a shop. I like slightly longer, as I do with my hackles on my wet flies. I just think it gives a wee bit more movement when you move the flies in the water. I could be wrong, but that's my preference, and that's what I'm confident in. Cheers, Matty. Might start doing a few of them up again, actually. I've not got enough a lot of them. But the main problem is now missing my time to do for YouTube, because I've got more than enough flies than I'll ever use in my lifetime tied up already. So what you see is usually for YouTube nowadays. I do them in all different colours, mate. Like I say, because I was doing the rabbit for dial box, that was the hand. So it was the first bag I reached for. I don't know if you're still in here, Alan. I've just got a notification that you just sent me that info. That's so much appreciated, mate. All right, wee man, cheers. Yeah, I just got that, Alan. Thanks very much for that info, mate. Moleskin's really good for touch dubbing, Rob. Again, mere your traditional spider type flies, which are the patterns I use an awful lot. A muskin. Cool. Now you're asking, I've not tied up one of them in absolutely ages. But give me a minute or I get a vape and a drink of coffee and we'll see what we can do for you. I don't know if it's all that forgotten, Rob. I ken a lot of the comp guys still use it, but it doesn't seem to be something that's used an awful lot by recreational anglers. To be quite honest, for what it represents, a buzzer, I really think there's easier options to imitate a buzzer. For me, I think you've been out with a net, Matty, never mind anything else. For me, it's something I tie up for the fun of tying up a muskin rather than something I would use on a regular basis. Be honest with you. And for wee man, I can do this one hour super glue because I found it. Polycord, where's my yarn? Wait 1 second, guys. I'm trying to find where I put my white polycord. I know I have some kicking about. There we go. I had some somewhere. It's not that I can't find it. I'm not exactly short on the stuff. Oh, happy birthday, Travis. Did they ken you were 18 now? Was that not what you meant? Now, Travis, if you're serious about staying and you're enjoying the channel, please just behave yourself, mate. and everything will be fine. As Matty said when you were on your time out, we're all a bunch of good guys and lasses in here, so everybody's welcome as long as they behave themselves. Well, like I said to you earlier on, Travis, if you come in a few times, I don't mean go out and come in 3 times tonight, but if you come in fairly regular, and you behave yourself, there's a good chance you can be made moderator over time. But you're not going to come in and just mump and moan and get it that way. It ain't going to work. Hey, Chloe. This is going to annoy Travis even more. And before you say anything, Travis, I have known Chloe for quite a while, so it's not favouritism or anything else. I'm not trying to be mean to you or anything. I don't know yet, and I ain't going to make just everybody a mod. So you'll just have to accept that, I'm afraid. Oh, there you go. You see, that's what you get for keeping moaning about wanting to be a mod. You were told, Deckman and beg for it, because you ain't going to get it that way. And to be quite honest with you, we already been timed out twice the night. I don't think it's going to happen anyway, mate. That may be a bit of a knee-jerk reaction, but you haven't exactly shown yourself to be sensible. Aye, you're more than welcome, Chloe. I know you're the level... Oh, no, wait, I was going to say you're the level-headed one, but I don't know if that's right or not. There you go, no frills has just told you, Travis, that's your second and final warning. Any more and you're gone. So, you know what's expected in here. If you don't accept it, go somewhere else and have your fun. Because I ain't going to mess about, and now there's no frills. Trust me, he's more ruthless than I am. And if you think no frills is bad, try crossing Chloe. You'll get it 10 times worse. You'll be taken out and given a damn good sorting out with the mamba. Oh. I'll tell him. I can only tell them it's you guys that wield the sword, not me. What the hell are you on about Cordophenia for, Rob? And yes, before anybody says this, this tinsel's, oh, you prat. This holographic tinsel's knackered, it's old stuff and the coating's coming off it, etc. It'd help if I put a thorax cover on it. Told you it'd been a while since I tied one of these up. Oh, right, okay, that makes sense now. That was actually pretty witty for you, Rob. Be quite honest. In a subtle way, of course. Hey, FG. Didn't ken you, but thanks for popping in. All I'll say is, FG, is behave yourself, mate. If not, you will disappear faster than you would imagine. I'm not saying you're that kind of person, but we've just had one, and that's basically a FUD. And it is set for adults, mate. Yes, set for not for children. Do you honestly think, Matty, I was going to have a live with the guys that come in here and no set it for adults? Boy, that would be asking for trouble. Now, as you can see there, guys, as I says to you, that Milo tinsel's absolutely knackered. What do you mean, he's a young lad, frills? Okay, quick, frills, what's your date of birth? Come on, hurry up. She'll be able to rattle that off immediately. Well, if there's any doubts, Matty, you know how to deal with it, buddy. I'll leave it there. Like I say, I ain't going to be taking any chances. You're a teenager. Well, I think you've just burnt your bridge saying that, buddy. Sorry to say. Nothing personal, just the rules. Well, as maybe some of you have noticed, I've made a complete arse of this because I've tied in the yarn way too close to the eye. Oh, maybe not. Might get away with this yet. Well, thank God for that. Go and do me a favour, Matty. Pass your lighter there. I think I might need it. Yeah, FG, if you're still sitting there, mate, it's nothing personal. Sorry, mate. It's just the way it is. Watching, Rob? Oh, hey, bad peoples with their butane torches. Tut tut. Oh, hey, mate, we've all seen him using his lighter. He can act on this and all he likes. Well, before anybody else says it, because I'm going to say it, this is overdressed. Way overdressed. But, hey ho, like I say, it's not something I tie on a regular basis, so... And as I say, that tinsel's absolutely knackered. Well, you kind of get the ideas, guys. It's not perfect by any stretch. What the hell is wrong with this lighting tonight? That's absolutely bloody terrible. See, I could put the light behind it and it helps, but it kind of knackers the camera up. See, it looks better through the ring light, but I can't type when it's like that. As you can see for there, that the coating's coming off that holographic red. It's ancient, and there's not enough dubbing on it either. But hey, it'll work. It doesn't need biots. You can piss off. Matty, time him out. It'll be the second time we'll been timed out the night. But yeah, that's kind of a muskin, I suppose. Not the best version I've ever tried, but there you go. What am I missing here? Craig's like them's underdressed. Now. That's the second time Rob's been timed out the night. Cara timed him out earlier on. Yeah, that actually looks that looks pretty good through the ring light there. But that's actually a pretty good ring light, actually, considering it's a cheap one. But because the lamp's actually there's no way I could tie through that, although it does get good lighting. Be good for photography. Piss off with your baby blue biots. You'll not get biots on my fleas, or very. Let me rephrase that. You'll rarely get biots on my flies. And you certainly wouldn't get biots on a muskin. Now you're just being silly. Why are you wielding an axe now, Matty? You go and get your dinner, Steve, and then come back and tell us what fancy stuff you've had. Oh, bloody hell, my back. I'll tell you what, Matty, I'm no half feeling shit after yesterday. I got the bloody sun on the back of my neck. I've had heat stroke all day, sunstroke, whichever one it is. My head's been fucking pounding. I've been feeling sick. It's been absolutely bloody awful. Cheeseburgers and chips. You said you found the saddling last night, Matty. Did you research your Stuart Spider? You're just in pain. I'm usually in pain, mate, but yesterday, that sun, the back of my neck's killing me. My head's splitting. I've been feeling sick. I'm aching all here. But fuck off. Sit back. Yeah, watch, my ceiling keeps falling down. Oh, you were doing your maintenance today. Oh. Loch style wet fly. For me, let me think. I mean, it kind of depends what's on the water, Alan. Like an olive bumble's good if there's olives on the water. Cape McLaren if there's no much shown and you try to draw them in. I mean, it does kind of depend on what's happening on the day. Just like for a dry or a nymph, whatever it may be. So it's a bit of a strange one to answer. I must wake up in your back and your neck glued to the pillow. Christ. Matty, what have you been up to, mate? What have you been doing that you've been gluing Chloe to the pillow? A half hog, another good pattern. I haven't tied one of them in quite a while either, actually. Used to tie a lot of half hog mergers. As long as it's just drooling, Do what I can anymore. Right away, you knew, Chloe. After sun on your neck. I still remember it was the summer of, was it 75 or 76? It was an absolutely horrible summer, apart from a week. And at that time, I was never away for the beach. I was swimming all the time, every day in the summer holidays. And I went down and I had the worst sunstroke I've ever had. I was a week in my bed, could not move. I felt like I was dying. It was absolutely horrible. That my knee. Aye. Oh. Just go do a wee peach and orange pseudo-hackle dial back. What I need to get is my longer pseudo-hackle in the brown. I used to, I'm out of it at the moment. And hello, comment. Comment deleted. That may be a prophetic name, depending on how you behave. It's not a bass fly, it's a trout fly. Yeah, I used to have much longer pseudo-hackle in brown, and on a size, I used to tie on a size 10 wet and tie basically a cormorant version of a soldier palmer. But I'm going to be getting some more pseudo-hackle in soon anyway, so David tied a nice organza dial back. It looked good, aye. But as I said last night, Rob, a lot of the flies that Davy ties is more to catch anglers than it is to catch fish, to be perfectly honest with you. That's just my opinion anyway. Fantastic tire, didn't get me wrong. I'm no belittling him and his ability. But as I've said for the start, I tie flies to catch fish, not to catch likes and views on YouTube. It's even the same. I don't, for as good as he is, I don't rate Davy McPhail as a, how can I put this, as a tutor for fly tying. He's more a tutor for patterns. Great tire, but there's nothing that would help a beginner or intermediate with fly tying by watching him, because the level that he ties at is way more than I'd probably say 50% of tyers are capable of. And it's basically, it's a, how can I put it? It's a showpiece for his own talent rather than getting folk into fly tying. Very entertaining to watch, and you do pick up some good techniques for him. But yeah, as it is more a showcase of his own talent. not saying that's a good or a bad thing, it's just as I see it. I'm just saying a wee boot back look. I'm just having a wee look back on the chart here because I've missed a few bits doing that. Looking at your comment, Alan, Clan Chief a good flight. Lochordy's, Christ, that's something that doesn't get used a lot anymore. The Wotan Warriors, I am not familiar with. So, yep, like I say, that Wotan Warrior, I have no idea what that is. I'm not familiar with that pattern. I did actually, Cara, just a few minutes ago, so you probably heard it and come in. I told you it's like a magnet to you. You can't resist, can you? Summoned, aye. Like summoning the genie for the bottle. Rub the mamba and Cara will appear. Rob, all right, yeah, you're right. Getting the organza. Sorry, you've seen you can what it's made out of, as opposed to these ones that spend a bloody fortune buying it and £3 for a couple of meters out of the shop. What's a mamba? It's a fly. Comment. All right, said right. Got you. What do you mean, the arse, Rob? It's a fly. It's a lure. See, Matty, here we go, eh? There's Caras and Chloe to rubber her genie, and oh dear God. Doesn't take long once the women are in, the standard goes way down. Absolutely terrible. And us men get the blame for it. Jack, you should see some of the snakes I tie up if you think well, it depends what black mamba you're talking about. It might be one of the biggest. Lochordy must be one of the simplest patterns in the world, but it's a good flea. 3 hackles and nothing else. I'm pretty sure, if I remember, Alan, there was a version or a similar version back in the 90s where they used 5 different colours hen hackle up a shank hook. It was like a Lochordy with added colours, and for the life of me, I can't remember if it had a name or whatever. Yeah, I've seen quite a few of the versions with 3, but I'm pretty sure this had about 5 colours on it. It was a weird concoction, but it worked. Like I say, I don't know if it had a specific name or it was just an Northy variant. I have no idea. Might have been just something that somebody messed about with and tried a few times and never used again. I have no idea. I don't normally, Rob, no. I suppose you could do it once you tie it in, get it anchored into place. You could trim it up. I've never actually bothered. But I'm adding it to go. It's for me. I know the fly you're talking about for David McPhail. I'm sure it's one of his Cardis patterns, if I remember correctly. And he uses it for obviously to give the gills effect on the fly, where I'm adding it to add a bit of bulk to a fly or a different look to the fly rather than adding a specific what's the word I'm looking for? A specific look. You know what I mean? Adding a dimension that would be there on a fly, if that makes sense. But for me, it's not. It's just for giving a variation, a different look to a fly. So I didn't bother trimming them down. I'll give me a minute. I'll send that to you, Matty. There's absolutely tons of them, to be honest with you. Just give me a couple of seconds, mate. That's a link sent to you, Matty. I didn't even make it look hard. I was just looking for it the other day because you were saying about it. Jack, it's no difficult. It may be for where. Do you actually hear somebody you can sit down with and practice, Jack? I.e., somebody sitting beside you that can tie. You're more than welcome. Comment. You can come back again. Jack, I was asking a question. Do you have somebody that knows how to tie flies that you can sit down beside and tie? All right. You're saying it's difficult. To be honest with you, the best thing you could do is have somebody sitting beside you. Once you get the basics, fly tying's fairly simple. Like I say, I tried to teach myself fly tying and it was an absolute disaster. And the boy that taught me about fly tying and fly fishing, etc., sat down with me for maybe an hour and a half. And you really only need to get 5 or 6 techniques down, and you could pretty much tie 90% of flies. Hello, Jay. Nice to see you coming in. Yeah. If you lose your train of thought, Jack, flies can get very weird very quickly. But like I say, if you can get the experience, I mean, practice will do it for you as well. But actually sitting with somebody that knows how to tie and going through step by step with you can make a massive difference. Right, guys, here's what I'm going to tie, and I may get. Well, let's just say there's somebody in the chat, or at least he was, that will be able to give critique on this. Never tied this before. This is the Wotan Warrior that Alan was talking about. He sent me. He was kind enough to send me the details of our messenger and a picture of what he says is his version of it. So forgive me for maybe taking a wee while over this, because I'm having to look back and forth to my computer to see the reference. I say it could be good, it could be terrible. We shall wait and see. I found that, Alan. I mean, when I first started trying to tie flies, every fly I tied looked like a bumblebee. And the minute you moved it, it started falling apart. The one thing I would say to you, Jack, as a bit of advice, is thread tension. You can tie a fly 90% correctly, and if you leave a couple of loose turns somewhere in the pattern, eventually it'll work loose. So thread tension, or consistent thread tension, is probably one of the most important parts of fly tying. Where's my fiery brown? I've got it somewhere. And coincidentally, Alan, I don't even need to look, because I've got main version of fiery brown. It's exactly what I call it. You know what, Matty? I never even thought of that. Doing a shared screen's probably as close as you're going to get, or probably as good as sitting beside somebody tying, because you can get real-time feedback on what you're doing. So yeah, that was a good shout, mate. Just think how much better it would be if you sat down with somebody that knew how to tie fleas. Yeah, you're right, Robert. Probably is one of the main things, and it's getting that balance that you can get as tight as you can, and knowing when to stop before you snap the thread. Which is one thing with me. I've always been heavy-handed, and it was one thing I struggled with. I used to snap threads right, left, and centre, and still do on occasion. But there you go. Yeah, I don't know how clear you can see the video, Jack, or the live. If you see when I put my dubbing on, see when I'm wrapping, see how the hooks, it's not just bending up and down like I'm pulling this way or pulling up the way. You're actually pulling in every direction. And if you can see that flex in your hook, that means that you're keeping thread tension right 360 around the hook. Yeah, exactly, Marty. I mean, if he can sit in with any of us, it's going to give him a good insight. And I would honestly, if anybody's seriously interested in learning more, even if it's guys that's not regulars in, if they're going to behave in that, ask. And I'm pretty sure one of the guys in here would quite happily sit down and give any kind of wisdom they can pass on to people. Like I said, there's no dipsticks in the chat, or not for long anyway. Oops. See the issues I'm having here, Matty. Never had that with the law of ice. I'll tell you what I wish I could find, and I really struggle with it, is actually finding decent bloody hackle pliers. I think hackle, I fucking hate them. Jack, I can only say, and I'm pretty sure I'm talking for Matty as well, we're all here to try and help each other. And if, you know, folk didn't want to take the advice, that's totally their own choice. But I'm pretty sure Matty would. Oh, piss off. Excuse my language, guys. I've got a half decent pair of hackle pliers. They're, what do you call them? The blue ones, Stonfoes. They're actually pretty good, but I think it's falling down the back of my desk at the moment. I can't see the buggers, which probably means they're lying in plain view. Oh, you pain in the backside. And as anybody will tell you, if I say someone's a pain in the backside, I'm deliberately trying to curb my language. Got you, you wee buggers. I have a good set as well now, Matty, because I've just funded them. Although even these, I had to put some shrink tubing on one of the jaws to make them grip. But this is, I really like these ones. This is the Stonfo rotary ones. I really do like them. They're probably and the minute I say that, it bloody hackle slips on them. That doesn't normally happen. Right, try again. Fourth time. Now remember, Matty, no wiggling. Straight up through. Nothing caught. Nothing to worry about. And you bring your wire straight up, come in, put a 90-degree bend in your wire, which is a load of shite and all, but there you go. That was just my wee dig at something David McPhail goes on about that's absolute and utter bollocks. But hey, that's his style of tying, so. Let me see if I've got a white hen cape after all that now. I think I do somewhere. Right, I don't have a white hen cape, so I'm going to pick a webby cockhackle today instead. Just have to do. Some of the Stormflow stuff is good, Jay. Other stuff I think is an absolute rip-off. They do a dubbing needle, and if I had one that broke, it was a darning needle set into a bit of plastic for a handle. And I do mean a darning needle. It was actually a needle with an eye in it that had just been set into a plastic handle. So, and I got that for somebody. I didn't buy it because I didn't buy dubbing needles. What I do is I go into the supermarket and get a pack of needles and set them onto a bit of wire. Then I can set them however thick I want, however long I want, etc. Right. Now, anybody that ties wet flies, I'll understand that a bit more turns in there than I normally would, but that's due to the fact that the webby cock hackle is a thinner fibre than a hen hackle, so that's just to make up for it. Right, Alan, let me know what you think, mate. Like I say, I know it's not a hen hackle in the front, but that's all I have. Well, if you're the only source of knowledge I've got on this, Alan, so if you're happy with it, brilliant. To be honest with you, Jay, I probably bought tools. I probably use about 3 things: pair of hackle pliers, pair of scissors, and that's about it, actually. Thank you, guys. So the rest of the tools I make myself: bobbin holders. You can pay £5 or £6 for the same things as a reputable company charges £20 for, and they're exactly the same. So you pay your money, you take your chance. Thanks, Steve. Get good scissors. I would argue with that, Rob. These ones here that I use, sorry, I'll try and get this so my hand's no shaking so you can actually see it. They're a very fine tip. You've seen me use them often enough. You can get them curved and straight. I get them off eBay for about £6 a pair. And I've had expensive scissors. There's actually a pair of Dr. Slicks there. I'd put them far above Dr. Slicks for point, sharpness. The only thing I couldn't comment on was longevity on them, because that's the first pair I've seriously used of them. But there you go. Which are good scissors, Rob? The ones I use, they're just they're surgical scissors. Like I say, they're off eBay. They're about £6 something a pair. And even if the longevity of them's not that great, you could buy 5 pairs, 6, 10 pairs for the price of some of the other ones. Thank you very much, Alan. Like I say, you're the only source on that fly, so it may be slightly different for the original, slight variation, but you know, with the materials I've got sitting there, that's what I come up with. Yeah, they're very fine scissors, Rob. They're not the strongest metal in the world, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I mean, you can, if you push them, you'll maybe see on, hang on, if I can get my fingers, you can actually, they do come over on each other slightly. I wouldn't use them for tough materials just because of the flex in them. I keep an older pair for that usually anyway. But I find these scissors are absolutely great. The only thing some might have a problem with, but if I didn't, I don't think other people can, is the difference of the finger holes. That's the Dr. Slicks at the back comparing with the ones I'm using. I mean, really, rather than getting your full finger through it, it's only the tips of your fingers, as you can see there. There's no way I'm getting my thumb or finger through the but just to pick up with your fingertips are easy enough, they're light enough. I really like them anyway. As I say, it's each to their own. Oh. Oh. It's always important to get your hole in. It's just as important on scissors as well, Rob. I knew where you were going with that, you filthy-minded swine. But you want to be able to touch the sides as well, Rob. Well, guys, I ain't going to be doing any more tying. I'm not going to be an awful lot longer either because I've been feeling crap the day with that sunstroke or heat stroke, whichever one it is. But I'm quite happy to sit for a wee while yet. You're live the morning as usual, Marty, yeah? Yeah. I might come in now. I'll maybe hate to visit the Arbroath Rhino and the Arbroath Rhino visiting me because, oh, Marty, mind I'll hate to talk to you about these lives. I was saying earlier, I had it all set up, thumbnail on it, scheduled it fine, but when it come to the start time, I couldn't find who to actually go live there and then. I don't know what the hell. Hey, Jared. That's you, blue buddy. Jared, you missed it last night, mate, on Matty's live stream. I did a quick demo how to do indicators. So if you want to have a look on that, you'll see it. It's not a long bit in it. But there's a bit in there that shows you how to do the indicators, how to mount them on the line, etc., etc. So if you want to see it, mate, that's where it is. At least I'm going by it was you that asked. Everybody said it was you that asked how to do them, so. You're so close, Jack. If you put an H on the end of dial back and split it between the L and the B, you're right. No, it's DIAWL, sorry. Yeah, buzzers dial back, Jack. They're I wouldn't say they were a basic tie. They're as simple as you want to make them. There's some guys tie buzzers that use 10 different materials in them. And to be honest with you, I've never seen a buzzer with any more than 2 colours. Maybe 3 at a push. Like everything else, fly anglers complicate things that they need to be complicated. Or fly tyers, I should say. But yeah, they two, they'll basically give the foundation for everything else. It'll give your thread control, proportion. You not hearing me, Jared? Somebody would let Jared ken it must be on his end, guys, because you are all hearing me. Oh. Right, sorry guys, I was just typing that for Jared's benefit. Jack, a parachute buzzer, yeah, that works. The only thing you'll have to adjust the tons of hackle on your parachute if the pattern below the water's heavier, which a buzzer tends to be over a dub body. Origami wings, I've had a look at them, Rob. They look good, but they look the easiest thing. All your wee nozzles and your pair of pliers, etc. But they do look good, I must admit. It's definitely a step up for the Wally wing. Steve, thanks very much for coming in, mate. I always appreciate anybody that comes in to support the channel. Hopefully see them on tonight on Matty's Live. If you didn't hear Hackle Jack, parachute doesn't work, mate. The post, when he won't support the fly, you need the hackle on it. I got you, Rob. I've never actually tried them, so I suppose before you tie them in, knowing where to put the folds, you have to try and guesstimate that before you actually get to tying them. Where with the Wally wing, you're actually folding them and tying them where you know it's right. So I suppose that's a wee added complication on the origami wings. I don't know if you've seen it. There's a boy did a video on them on YouTube. It's really good at doing them. Right, guys, I'm really sore, so I'm going to call it quits for the night. I appreciate everyone that's come in, all the back and forth, etc., etc. And I'll catch you all hopefully tomorrow night in Matty's Live. And if I'm feeling a bit better and if it's all right with Matty, I'll maybe come and join up. So I will catch you on the next one, guys. Thanks a lot.